So what a game that we had yesterday. Game 7 in between the Hawks and the 76ers. It was a very good and entertaining game to watch. And the Hawks were able to pull this one out. So give credit all to the Hawks for pulling this one out and getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. But today in this video, I want to talk about one guy on our Hawks team that I have talked about before that needs their respect, and that's Trae Young. Before we get in this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my previous video that I did on Trae Young against the Knicks, but why he was so hated. Check that video out before continuing to watching this video. With that being said, let's just get right into the topic of this video. Trae Young deserves way more respect than what he's being given right now. Earlier in this season, the Hawks were not good. I'll admit that. They were under 500. Trae Young was playing probably his worst basketball that I've seen in this season. He was on a horrible slump. He was just having low confidence. Everyone was bashing him for doing all this foul bang stuff that I'll get into later in this video. And people were starting to now hop on the hate train for Trae Young. And some of it was criticism, but most of it was just hate. People calling him soft. He was a fucking loser. All of this shit. And for me, I don't want to judge a man when they're on the lowest point. I thought that it was just so bad that how much hate he was getting. But after firing Lloyd Pierce and picking up Nate McMillan as an interim coach, which is probably now going to be the head coach for him for a while, they have been on a roll. Not only during the last part of the regular season, but throughout this entire playoffs, they have been on a roll. They beat the Knicks' ass. Trae Young just absolutely just send the Knicks home. Fucking hits a game-winning floater on them. Fouls to the crowd at the end of Game 5. He was performing well against the Knicks, but a lot of people, when they matched up against the 76ers in the second round, a lot of people were saying, Trae Young was going to have a harder time since, he'll have Ben Simmons on him, who I thought should have been Defensive Player of the Year, and going to have a guy like Matisse Thybulle, who's a great defender. So a lot of people thought that he was going to have a difficult time, but now he just went out and did his thing, and it didn't even affect him. Having Ben Simmons being guarded on him, it didn't even affect him that much. Like, he kept blowing by him. He was just dominating, cooking, passing the ball to the open guys, alley-ooping it to John Collins and Clint Capella, hitting his deep threes. As always, he's just dominating. Of course, in Game 7, he didn't perform that well during the first 3 quarters. He was like someone with like 1 of 14 from the field, which is absolutely horrible. But however, he was getting assists. And unlike the other guy on the other point guard on the other team, Ben Simmons, unlike him, he kept shooting the ball. Shoot or shoot. In the 4th quarter, he lit their ass up. He hit a deep ass 3 to pretty much put a dagger in them. Getting into his Florida game, and eventually it's starting to hit. And he kept finding open guys like John Collins, Clint Capella for lobs. And Trae Young is born for this shit. I just love how he's playing. Also, something that I said in my last video, you haven't checked that one out, but I said that he needed to embrace that villain role in the NBA, where people are going to hate on him for many things, and he's got to embrace it, just do his thing out there. And he has done that. He turned into a super villain. I'm telling you, by the end of these playoffs, the entire East Coast of the United States are going to fucking hate this man. Took down New York, in which then he takes down the little brother, Philadelphia. So I love how he's just embracing the role as being a villain in the NBA. Just, he's a fucking killer on the court. And probably the main reason why people don't like him as much is because of all this foul banging shit in the NBA that he does. Like I said in my last video about Trae Young, he's not the only fucking superstar that does it. Like I said, Damian Lillard, he did that shit a bunch of times. James Harden practically fucking made it. The other guy on the 76ers, Joel Embiid, he does that shit in the paint. Like, the man literally averages almost 15 free throws. If I was in the NBA, if I was in Trae Young's position where I was undersized for an NBA guard, I would fucking do that shit 1,000 times every game. I would try to draw hella fouls. That shit isn't against the rule book, and I'm pretty sure, they're trying to change it this season. And that's a good thing for the NBA. But as long as it's not written down that you can't do that, he needs to keep doing that. People are good at drawing fouls, and he's one of the best right now to do it. Also, another reason why Trae Young doesn't get the credit and the respect that he fucking deserves is that he's always going to be compared to Luka Doncic, because of the draft day trade. And I get it. Luka is just on another level. Luka is playing like he can be an all-time great by the end of his career. People were saying like the Hawks automatically lost that trade, but did the Hawks really lose that trade that badly? Because right now Luka's at home watching Trae Young do his shit. I'm not trying to go deep into it. I'm not trying to say something outrageous, but the Hawks didn't really lose that trade. Like, I hate it when people say that because they're just trying to discredit Trae Young and what he can do. Because no one thought that this Hawks team would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Many people had the Knicks being the Hawks. They got proven wrong. Many people had the 76ers beating the Hawks' ass. Oh my, they were hella wrong. Now they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. And Trae Young has led them to this. So stop hating on Trae Young. Give him the respect and the credit that he deserves. The NBA needs to start marketing him. Be a future superstar in the NBA. They need to start marketing him and a bunch of young stars like Devin Booker and Luka. Because we're seeing this right now. 4 teams that is remaining in these playoffs, they have either not won a championship in almost fucking like a long ass time, or they never won a championship ever. We are seeing a transition now where we're seeing these young stars show what they can do and just say fuck all the empty stat shit, fuck all that. These players are built for this shit, and Trae Young is one of them. People need to start appreciating what he's doing right now for NBA. So if y'all enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what y'all think about Trae Young. Why you think he's so hated in the NBA still? Why do you think he doesn't get the respect that he deserves for leading this Hawks team to the Eastern Conference Finals? Give me all y'all thoughts down below. And with that being said, hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace out, y'all.